I let that slide. In fact, I loved every single second of it. I didn't yell. I didn't correct him. I didn't get offended. Because that finger wag wasn't born out of malice, arrogance, or defiance. It was born out of 100% pure, unfiltered, laser-sharp focus. He was fighting his way through a mountain of work, and he refused to let anything derail him. I slowly backed away to the stove, put the spoon down, and waited in complete, respectful silence. 5 minutes later, the sharp sound of a pencil landing on the table echoed through the room. Leo took a deep breath, slammed his folder shut, and let out a triumphant gasp. He looked up at me, his eyes wide with victory. "I'm done, Dad. All of it." I walked over, picked up the packet, and carefully inspected every page. Every word was written clearly. Every math problem was solved. Every reading question was answered. He hadn't just rushed through it, he had smashed it. "Outstanding work, buddy," I said, putting the paper down and looking at my son. "And for the record, your tacos are coming right up, with the sour cream strictly on the side." He grinned from ear to ear. I served up the meal exactly as my little prince commanded, and we sat down together to eat the best tacos of the month. Tomorrow after school, we are hitting that trampoline park, and you can bet your life I'm packing those jump socks first thing in the morning. Sometimes as a parent, you just have to step back, swallow your pride, and admire the hustle. My voice trailed off. My speech completely jammed in my throat. I froze in my tracks right there in the middle of the kitchen. Leo didn't look up from his math sheet. He didn't turn his head. He didn't even blink. His right hand was gripping his pencil, furiously writing out numbers in a neat column, but his left hand was raised high in the air between us. His index finger was extended, moving back and forth in a slow, rhythmic, authoritative finger wag. Wag. Wag, wag. It was the universal sign for, "Not now, old man." Hush. This boy was so deep in the zone, so fiercely committed to crossing his final homework finish line and securing his trampoline glory, that he literally did not have the bandwidth to process taco toppings or hold a conversation. My question was an unwanted distraction in his symphony of focus, and he handled it with the cold efficiency of a corporate CEO. Now, let's establish something clearly. In our household, finger wagging is a dangerous game. We've had conversations about it. Finger wagging at an elder or a parent is usually considered wildly disrespectful. In normal circumstances, you better have a damn good reason, or you're heading straight into a serious lecture about manners. I stood there for 3 seconds, taco spoon mid-air, looking at this 8-year-old child who had just hit me with the ultimate silence gesture. And in that moment, I couldn't do anything but smile. Inside the house, the atmosphere shifted. This wasn't just homework anymore. This was a high-stakes mission. Leo dropped his backpack at the kitchen table, pulled out his folders, lined up his sharp wooden pencils, and laid out his worksheets like a general preparing a battle map. There were pages of reading comprehension, writing prompts about seasonal changes, and 2 full sheets of math additions and word problems. I gave him his space and headed over to the stove to start making dinner. Tonight was taco night, a fan favorite in our house. Soon, the kitchen was filled with the sizzle of seasoned ground beef, the warm aroma of heated tortillas, and the faint tapping of Leo's pencil against the wooden table behind me. 10 minutes passed. Then 20, then 30. Occasionally, I'd glance over my shoulder. Leo wasn't fidgeting. He wasn't asking for a juice box. He wasn't complaining about his hand hurting. He was completely dialed in. His forehead was wrinkled in intense focus, his mouth slightly open, working through problem after problem. By minute 45, I was genuinely impressed. The boy was a machine. Around the 50-minute mark, the taco meat was perfectly simmered, the cheese was shredded, and the soft shells were warm. It was time to plate up. I picked up a spoon, loaded up a taco shell, and walked over toward the kitchen counter near his workspace. "Hey, Leo," I called out casually, looking down at the toppings. "Do you want sour cream inside the taco? Or on the sea?" The afternoon sun was beating down on the windshield of my old pickup truck as the school bell echoed in the distance. At 35 years old, parenting often feels like a constant game of chess, balancing encouragement, discipline, and the endless hustle of daily life. Sitting in the driver's seat, I adjusted the rearview mirror and watched my 8-year-old son, Leo, trek across the blacktop toward the truck. His backpack looked almost as big as he was, weighing heavily on his shoulders, full of the dreaded weekday homework. "Hey, buddy, how was school?" I asked as he threw his backpack into the footwell and climbed into the passenger seat. "Fine," he muttered, dropping into the seat with that classic post-school exhaustion that every kid experiences. Now, if you have an 8-year-old, you know that homework night after night is a battlefield. Between reading logs, short answer writing prompts, and double-digit math problems, getting through the week's assignments usually required a mixture of pleading, bartering, and endless timers. On average, we were looking at about 65 to 75 minutes of solid homework every single week. Spaced out over 5 days, it's only 15 to 20 minutes a night, a breeze for an adult. But to an 8-year-old, it might as well be building the Great Pyramids by hand. As I pulled out of the parking lot, an idea struck me. It was Thursday evening, and he had been dragging his feet all week. I decided to make an offer of challenge, really in a half-joking, offhand tone. "Tell you what, Leo," I said, catching his eye in the rearview mirror as we hit the main road. "If you buckle down and finish every single piece of your homework for the entire week tonight, I will take you to the ultimate trampoline park tomorrow right after school." The words floated in the air. For a second, there was silence. I waited for him to laugh or make a joke. Instead, he retreated into deep thought. For the entire 10-minute drive home, Leo didn't say a single word. He sat in the back, staring out the window, his little mind visibly whirring. He was weighing the pros and cons, calculating the sheer mental endurance required against the absolute glory of high-flying flips and foam pits. We pulled into the driveway, and the engine hummed to a stop. I turned around in my seat to look at him. Leo slowly unbuckled his seatbelt, adjusted his shirt, looked me dead in the eye with absolute gravity, and proclaimed, "Okay, Dad, I'll do it. But don't forget the jump socks tomorrow." I had to bite the inside of my cheek to keep from laughing. The deal was struck. Thank you so much for watching today's story. If this video touched your heart, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Solo Dad Stories for more touching tales about family, dignity, and second chances. Let us know in the comments below which moment stayed with you the most. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.